The Boy from Yesterday. I'm author KB Howard, and I'd like to ask for your feedback about the story so far. Hopefully you've enjoyed the chapters up until now, and if you have, send me an email. My email address is kbhmsw@aol.com. So that's K as in Ken, B as in Brian, H as in Howard, M as in Mary, S as in Samuel, W as in William, kbhmsw@aol.com. I'd like to hear what you like and even what you don't like about the story so far, and I'd love to hear your feedback of where you are and maybe even some questions for me about the story as these last chapters before we get to the end of the book come up. So also, please feel free to rate and review the story on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and to share it with friends that you think might enjoy the story. And now, Chapter 36, Rendezvous. Tacos, conversation, and some sweet kisses aside, the time came when Laurel got a text about 10:40 p.m. It was TJ. On way, hurry. Anything from Emily? No word from her yet, TJ texted. Tom and Laurel listened and heard the toilet flush from the back part of the house where Marguerite's room was. The house was dark except for the table lamp that Marguerite kept on at night near the front door. In the limited light of the house at night, it was hard to tell what year it was, and Tom felt more at home than ever in the hallways and stairs. They made their way outside into the barn apartment. Laura was wrapped in long jeans, boots, and a hoodie, trying to cover what couldn't be seen, but there was no one outside. The clouds had gotten heavier since sunset, and it was sprinkling already, with darker clouds on the way as the breeze kicked up. Inside the barn, Tom shed all his 21st century trendy clothes and got back into the outfit he came to this time in. Laurel's heart raced to see him in it, and she couldn't help but think of all that she thought and felt since she had first found him. He didn't look exactly the same, though. All the modern food had filled in his lean build a little. All the skincare products she had taught him to use made him look cleaner and fresher, and the hair care products had given his hair a thickness and shine that still made him look very 21st century, but in 19th century clothes. They left behind everything else and ran through the main streets toward campus, not wanting to be seen by anyone if they could help it, but then took side streets and came around toward the library tower from the back way. She texted TJ. "Hey, how to get in? Stairs open?" TJ texted back immediately. "Was there earlier, left back stairs open, put pen in doorframe." Sure enough, when Laurel and Tom reached the back of the building, they found the door propped open just the width of a Bic pen that TJ had left in the door. There was the light of the old security lights on the wall of the stairwells, but that was enough to get to the top, their adrenaline pumping hard enough to fuel the climb up the stairs. They were now on the lookout deck, which was round with a wide stone wall railing around it on all sides, which surrounded a column that supported the top of the tower in the center of the room. The breeze blew through the open room, bringing with it the increasing rain from outside, and they could feel mist and sometimes drops blow into their faces. They were barely up the back stairs to the lookout room when they met TJ and Peter coming up from the front stairs, which they were surprised to see them use. "How did you use the front stairs?" Laurel said. They closed up a while ago downstairs. I bribed the guard to use the restroom as he was leaving. He told me just to close the door behind me," TJ said. Peter chuckled. "It wasn't the bribe. He thought you were cute." No thank you," TJ scoffed, "but whatever, it worked." Tom was confused, especially after seeing so many things that Laurel explained were about locks, alarms, and other security devices. But in a town like Chesterfield, some people remained with an old-fashioned sense of trust one might not see in other places. Tom was also confused about TJ and Peter talking about a male security guard possibly finding TJ attractive, but by this time Tom was so used to hearing them all talk differently. For a moment he yearned to be back where all the people spoke in ways that he could understand. They all hugged. "Wait," Laurel said, "where's Em?" "I don't know. She wasn't answering her text. I think something's up with her," TJ said. "Oh," Peter said, shoving his hand into his pocket and fishing out the ring. "Here you go," he said, pulling out his hand and extending it to Tom. "This is yours." Tom's eyes lit up as he unfolded the paper towel and saw the golden gleam in his palm. He grabbed the ring in his hand and wrapped his arm around Peter and gave him a tight hug. "Thank you, friend," he said. Peter was glad to have the handsome Tom hug him, but noticed that TJ noticed the hug and pulled back with a shrug. "Meh, it was nothing," Peter said, grinning to Tom, then to TJ with another shrug. Tom shoved the ring hard on his left middle finger. He stared at it a bit, gazing into the dragon's eye, which glowed faintly as he stared into it, losing himself a moment. Laurel touched his elbow gently. "Tom?" she said, wondering what he was doing. Tom snapped out of his reverie and looked around at TJ, Peter, and Laurel standing near him, watching him. "I'm fine," Tom said, smiling, looking back down at the ring. "You know, with all of you, I think I'm the luckiest fella in the world. You're the best friends ever." The others laughed, looking at Tom, watching him for what they thought would be the last time. They enjoyed their laugh, looking affectionately at their visitor from another century, and knowing they were preparing to watch him leave. Tom laughed and hugged his friends. Just then a booming, seething voice broke the joyful moment from behind them near the front stairwell. "I'll just bet." It was Christian.